Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Happy Detox Diva Day to all of you beautiful people. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself tonight to learn more about the your health and how everything works together. I'm just so excited for this call today and can't wait to share. So tonight we are going to go over the liver and the GLP-1 connection. And did any of you know that there was a connection between the two? Because I didn't until recently. I knew that liver had a part of the of our weight loss and whether or not release. Sorry, we say release around here. We never want that back. We want, I know that the weight loss hormones are stored in the liver, but the facts that, Jessica, that's so funny you just said that. The fact that it is connected to the GLP-1 is crazy. So let's dive in. My name is Tina Huerman. I am your hostess. Most weeks, I am blessed by some people that do take over the reins for me so I can have a night off. And last week we had Miss Susie, which I just realized I never got her call replay up, but that microbiome conversation, she is just such an asset for education. The Detox Divas, we specialize in root cause healing, terrain health, making sure that the whole body system is working together because the whole body system was designed to work together. And so tonight's conversation is in the news a lot because of the GLP-1, but not the liver connection. I just wanted to make sure that you guys have that information. So when you're talking to someone that might be struggling, you have got some valid information to talk to them about. So grab a pen and paper and take some notes. Let's start off by introducing these two amazing women. Paula Scarsella is our owner and CEO. And when I say that this person, this woman loves you, loves the customers, and loves the affiliates, I cannot stress enough how powerful that word love is. She's constantly trying to come up with ways to make life better for the health of people, but also for those of us in the field that are sharing with other people. Alexandria Brighton's got close to 50 years of experience in the plant and aromatherapy world. She has her own apothecary, her own herbal pharmacy. It is an herbal pharmacy. She studied plants long enough to know what constituents work together. If you take one look at our formulations on these products, you're going to say, wow, that's some brilliant formulation. And then when you try it and you're like, oh my gosh, this works. I've tried so many things and nothing has worked. I think I finally found my answer. It's because of Alexandria. So the company was founded with our healing trilogy, mind, body, and soul. It was never intended to be an income producing type of company. It was just here to save lives. And we continue that vision now, built on authenticity, ethics, and transparency, with an emphasis on people first, obviously. And we are so absolutely obsessed with purity and potency in our products that we have built our own 16,000 square foot in-house FDA registered facility. So now we control every step of the process, from sourcing to testing to formulation to packaging to shipping. And the company handles all of that for us. So all we have to do is just have fun helping people helping people feel better. So before we go any farther, none of this information has been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. It is for educational purposes only. It's not supposed to be taken as medical advice or a substitute for the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider. Hopefully you've got a great relationship with them. Always consult your physician or licensed healthcare provider before making changes to your diet supplement routine. Individual results are going to vary because all of our bodies are different, right? So what takes somebody 6 months may take someone else a year, depending on the layers of issues in the terrain of the body and the things that need to compound and stack and get fixed and get healthy. We are not responsible for any of the health outcomes resulting from the use or misuse of the products. So here's where we are right now. Let's just kind of back up and just take a pause. Right now, we are in the middle. We are in the bind and clear phase of our deep cleanse, day 8 through 14. And ParaCleanse has been actively targeting and clearing the parasites. The heavy metal toxin binder is doing its critical work, capturing the waste, the metabolic byproducts, and released toxins. So the ParaCleanse is going to go in there and stir all the stuff up. The heavy metal binder is going to come in and sweep it all up and take it all out. And this phase matters because with proper binding, toxins are and the toxins that are mobilized during the clearing, they can recirculate within the body. And the binder acts as a safety net so that nothing else gets lodged in your organs, lodged in your tissues, or affects any of the cells. So this is what makes the difference between a cleanse that feels good and one that feels rough. And of course, we started out with the liver prep before. So there's the ParaCleanse and the heavy metal binder. So next week, we are going to start the restoration phase. We're one of the few companies that will actually take you through the critical components of a successful cleanse, where you have to make sure that the detox pathways are open. We talk about that all the time. We're going to go in clear and bind. And then next week, we're going to come back in with gut check that has got microbiome X in it. It's been clinically proven to restore the gut flora within 12 weeks. And the HEPA detox, which is our liver support essential oil. And we're going to continue with that heavy metal binder just to make sure that there's no debris left over there. And those that are going through this cleanse right now are having some really wild experiences. So I'm so grateful for those inboxes I get. And the TMI conversations I think are my most favorite. So I want to start out why detoxing is so vitally important to your health. Most of you know me from years of doing these calls with you. I talk about my mama all the time. In 2017, I spent 7 amazing weeks walking my mama to heaven. And I made her a promise in hospice that I would save another daughter from losing their mother to cancer. And I've been talking about parasite and cancer connections for a long time. And I don't know if I've actually gone through that on an actual Detox Diva call. I do that a lot on my personal profile. But there is some research that has been declassified by the CIA of a study that was done by a Soviet medical research firm in 1950. And it talks about the connection between the terrain in your body and cancer cells and parasites, and how they both thrive in that cesspool of waste. We talked about the lymphatic system a couple of weeks ago with Kay. And she just gave the best description of that. You know, if you're not moving your lymphatic system, you have a stale, stagnant pond, scum, breeding parasites, breeding diseases, and everything. So your lymphatic system really is super important, which is why I do those crazy dance videos. And if you haven't seen yet, get a vibration plate. Like, that is so amazing. It's been so beneficial. So the parasite worms deposit these large quantities of glycogen and thrive using anaerobic metabolism. Tumor tissue does the exact same thing. This is not coincidence. This is shared biochemistry. And there's a shared oxygen strategy. Researchers classify both amphibiotic tissue built to thrive in low oxygen environments and survive aerobic conditions simultaneously. So this dual strategy is what makes both so difficult to address without the first changing the terrain that they live in, which that oxygen right there, that's one of the reasons I love fulvic acid so much. It increases the oxygenation at the cellular level by 45 times its weight. Like, fulvic is foundational. Whatever products you are taking, fulvic acid needs to be at the foundation of all of that. So then we have the terrain is the target. So when you change your terrain, which is what we talk about on these calls, the condition that allows both to thrive. So this is what root cause or fixing the terrain helps it so that they cannot survive. Sorry. The cleanse is not just about the parasites. It's about reclaiming your internal environment entirely. So I was kind of mad when I saw that. My friend Dan, who is just an amazing person who shares these products with others, he shared a graphic with me and then posted on his timeline. And I was like, oh, this makes me so mad that this information has been classified. And what else are they hiding from us, right? When we know that root cause healing is the way to go, like you've got to make healthy choices. So this was never just about just being a cleanse. The deep cleanse was a necessary first step in the larger metabolic reset that we're working towards. So one, the deep cleanse, the terrain reset, and then now we're going into liver rebuild and restore. And coming up soon is going to be the GLP-1 reset that we're going to roll into. Now that we're cleaning out the terrain, then we have that ability to release those pounds. And obviously that GLP system works really well if you've seen my progress over the past 12 months. So what is the GLP-1, the glucagon-like peptide 1? So it is a hormone that your body already produces. It is not a shot. It is not a pill. It is not a protocol. It is a protein within your gut wall, primarily in the small intestine and the colon. So a lot of people say GLP-1 and they automatically think of those dangerous drugs, but it is an innate part of your beautiful system that is here to keep you healthy. So a low GLP-1 output or receptor insensitivity is directly tied to blood sugar dysregulation. So people with blood sugar issues, the GLP-1 is affected by that. You've got difficulty releasing weight and cravings that feel impossible to control. It signals the pancreas to release the insulin after eating, tells the brain you're full, slows the stomach emptying, and helps regulate the blood sugar naturally. So it's a pretty important little protein that lives in your gut lining. Because the GLP-1 is made in the gut, a damaged microbiome or inflamed gut lining dramatically reduces how much GLP-1 you can actually produce. So then you've got your gut health, right? The gut check. If you've got those issues going on, gut check is going to be a great support with you, as well as the GLP-1 reset kit. So the liver, this is the exciting part. It plays two roles with your GLP-1 system, but most people only hear about one, but here's why both of them matter. So role one, the liver as a GLP-1 trigger. So bile acids that are produced in the liver travel into the small intestines where they activate those L cells. They're the specialized little gut cells that manufacture and release that GLP-1 into your system. And without adequate bile flow, the GLP-1 production never gets started. The liver is upstream of the entire GLP-1 system. And then role number two is the GLP-1 responder. So the liver has its own GLP-1 receptors inside. And when the GLP-1 binds to those receptors, it signals the liver to slow down the glucose production. A congested or fatty liver loses receptor sensitivity. So even when the GLP-1 is present, the liver does not respond correctly and continues to overproduce that glucose. This is why you can't fix a GLP-1 problem without addressing the liver first. It's both the source of the signal and the target of the response. So if you're sharing with others, I want you to write that down. So that's a very important key point right there. So before we talk about what goes wrong, what does a healthy liver do for the GLP-1? So it produces the bile that triggers it. It regulates the blood sugar without struggle. And so when the bile flow is steady and receptor sensitivity is intact, the liver does not need to overthink this. Glucose production stays calibrated, insulin stays in a healthy range, cravings stay quiet, energy stays stable. And this is the system working the way it was designed. And then it responds to the GLP-1 signals correctly. So a healthy liver maintains that sensitivity. The liver reads the signal and reduces its glucose output. And this prevents the blood sugar from spiking between meals and removes the burden from the pancreas. Like, that's so amazing. And then it's going to support that metabolic hormonal balance. Ladies, men, you having some issues with your hormones? It's in your liver. It's in your GLP-1. And so a clean liver, it's going to metabolize and clear the excess estrogen. We have a call coming up on estrogen dominance. So we're going to be talking about that later. And cortisol. So a clean liver metabolizes that cortisol and inflammatory byproducts that would otherwise interfere with that hormone signaling, including the GLP-1. The liver congestion creates a hormonal traffic jam, and a healthy liver keeps the pathways open. So when these four functions are working correctly, the GLP-1 levels are naturally adequate, appetite's regulated, blood sugar stable, the body's not in constant fight with itself. This is the baseline. And when the liver is congested, everything else unravels. So tell me in the comments, do any of these sound familiar? These aren't character flaws. These are GLP-1 signals actually taking place in your body. Do you have belly fat that does not move even when you eat well and exercise constantly? Do you have blood sugar crashes in the afternoon? Do you have weight release plateaus? No matter what protocol or approach you try, you can't release the pounds. Feeling full, but still wanting more food. Appetite is not connecting to the brain as it should. Cravings that return within an hour after eating a full balanced meal. Waking up between 2 and 4, that's when your liver is doing its hardest work at repairing itself and purging and everything else. Wired but tired. Oh, that's such a weird feeling, isn't it? So exhausted but unable to relax, poor sleep quality. And then you've got the hormonal weight gain after 35, particularly in the midsection, and that's very resistant to change. So how did the GLP-1 get broken? You don't need a shot, you don't need a pill, you just need to make sure that you provide an environment where the GLP-1 is not broken anymore. And so this is the root cause nobody's connecting for you. So the processed fats and refined sugars, a diet high in industrial seed oils and refined carbs create chronic gut inflammation that directly damage the L cells. Chronic stress and cortisol, that liver's not functioning, you got that cortisol, but elevated cortisol levels suppress that GLP-1, accelerates liver fat accumulation and drives the insulin resistance. Stress is not just emotional, it's biochemical. Energy, emotions are energetic feelings that we get in our body, and a low vibrating feeling, grief, anger, frustration, self-doubt, all of those things can cause illnesses within the body because that's bioelectrical. So aging and hormone shifts, GLP-1 secretion naturally declines with age. There we are. In women navigating perimenopause, shifting estrogen further impairs that metabolic hormone signaling, toxins and parasite load, deep cleanse, liver congestion and sluggish bile. A congested liver produces less bile. It has nowhere to go, so it's just going to swell up in there. Less bile means less stimulation of the L cells in the small intestine. Fewer L cells activated means less GLP per meal. And then you've got your microbiome damage. So the fatty liver shuts down the GLP-1 receptors. I know a lot of people have that fatty liver issue. So what is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? So that is the accumulation of excess fat inside the liver cells caused by processed foods, high fructose intake, toxin exposure, and chronic stress. And current research estimates 1 in 3 adults has some degree of this. That's a pretty scary number, isn't it? So the problem, the liver has its own, as we talked about, receptors. And when the liver is fatty and inflamed, those receptors downregulate and lose that sensitivity, which means even when the gut produces that GLP-1 correctly, the liver cannot respond to it. And you cannot out supplement a non-responsive liver. So impaired glucose regulation, the liver overproduces that glucose, reduce insulin sensitivity without proper GLP-1s receptor functions in the liver. The insulin response becomes blunted and delayed, creating a cascade of downstream dysfunction. And then accelerated fat storage. Impaired GLP-1 signaling shifts the liver's bias towards fat storage versus fat oxygenation, and regardless of how well you eat or how much you exercise. So this is why that deep cleanse and liver rebuild must come before that GLP-1. Now, I'm not going to force you to do a liver cleanse or a deep cleanse prior to starting the GLP-1, but I highly suggest it if you want the maximum results. So this is a self-reinforcing cycle. So weak GLP-1 signaling, low output or impaired receptors. Number two, pancreas undershoots. Insulin releases too little or too late after meals. Blood sugar stays high. Liver overproduces glucose. And the sensitivity drops further. The GLP-1 receptors further down regulate that close that loop. Breaking this cycle requires restoring that liver function. We got to make sure that liver's functioning correctly. So the chronic stress is a metabolic problem. Cortisol does not just affect your mood, it rewires your metabolism. And it directly suppresses that GLP-1 secretion, accelerates liver fat accumulation, advancing that fatty liver, disrupts the gut microbiome, increases blood sugar, impairs sleep quality. Who has trouble sleeping? I bet 80% of the people on this earth have some sort of issue with sleep. Creates the stress eating cycle. Stress drives those cravings. Eating does not satisfy. You get more stress. You're eating things you know you shouldn't be. Then you're beating yourself up because you ate the things you shouldn't be. And then all of life problems just seem so much bigger. So the high performer pattern, so high achieving, always on people are often the most metabolically disruptive, not because of what they eat, but because chronic output never lets cortisol drop back to the baseline. Then you have the night eatings and cravings. Evening cortisol spikes trigger carbohydrate cravings as the body seeks a quick serotonin lift. This is biochemistry, not weakness. And then the sensoril in the GLP-1 system that we talk about, the sensoril ashwagandha in Slimmer Pro actually is clinically proven to reduce that cortisol, directly supporting the conditions where that GLP-1 condition can normalize. So addressing this cortisol is not optional. It's a part of the program. It's central to why the GLP-1 reset works when other approaches are not working. So the liver and the GLP-1, why can one cannot work without the other? So the liver, as we've talked about, controls that blood sugar and that glucose storage. It's got that hormone clearance, including the metabolic hormones, bile production, which directly triggers that GLP-1, fat metabolism and lipid processing, detoxification of everything your gut sends upwards. And when the liver is sluggish, that GLP-1 receptor sensitivity stops, the bile flow slows, reducing the signals, blood sugar swings become harder to regulate, hormone waste builds up and recirculates, weight loss plateaus, even when everything is going well with your diet and your exercise. So the bile acid in the GLP-1 link looks something like this. So the liver is going to produce that bile. The bile is going to enter that small intestine and stimulate the L cells. Then L cells secrete that GLP-1. GLP-1 triggers the insulin resistance. And so while bile flow is compromised, the entire GLP cascade slows down. A congested liver means less GLP, not just a liver problem. But we know how dangerous those toxins are in the body anyway. So we need to make sure that we are taking steps to address that liver, even if it's just taking soul superfood or liver support every day. That liver is just so incredibly important. So, what naturally drives that GLP-1 production? So, your body already knows how to do this. It doesn't need a shot. It doesn't need a fix. It may need some detoxing. It may need some extra herbs and supports for, a little bit of time. It took me 7 months to get my metabolism fixed. I stopped taking the product in October because honestly, I really don't want to lose any more weight. And from October through the holidays, even I continued to lose weight and actually lost another 5 pounds. I'm sleeping fantastic. And in January, I started going to the gym, which I used to call the death chamber. So, it's so funny still today that I tell people I work out. So short chain fatty acids produced when a healthy gut bacteria ferment fiber, SCFAs, are the primary signal that tells the L cells to secrete that GLP-1. A healthy microbiome is also non-negotiable, but it may seem overwhelming, but we've got an entire protocol, and you're going to see that at the end of this presentation of what you can expect and how we're going to take you on this healing journey this year. So reducing hepatic fat. As liver fat decreases, GLP-1 receptor expression in the liver is restored. Bile acid recycling. So bile acids returning from the intestine directly stimulate that L cell GLP-1 release. This only works efficiently when bile flow is strong, which requires a healthy, unencumbered liver. Polyphenols and fermented foods. Like I love green olives. I love pickles. I love sauerkraut. I love beets. Beets was a side for a dinner that we went out to the other night. And I'm like, yeah, give me some pickled beets. And so the polyphenol rich foods feeds that SCFA, producing that bacteria. Microbiome X, which happens to be in the glucoprotect, is derived from citrus flavonoids, clinically shown to modulate that gut bacteria that support that GLP-1 output. Protein-rich meals, whey, casein, quality plant proteins directly trigger that GLP-1 secretion after eating. Protein-rich meals consistently produce higher and longer-lasting GLP-1 responses than carbohydrate-heavy meals. And then you have the flucozanthin from brown seaweed, which is an active compound from brown seaweed that supports that fat oxidation, thank you, in the liver and reduces that visceral fat. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, actually it was last spring, we talked about visceral fat, and that's that brown fat that traps all those chemicals in your body when your liver can't process them and evacuate them. And it is stored, there's a brown layer of fat over your organs to protect your organs so those chemicals and toxins don't get in there. So this brown seaweed will help reduce that fat oxygenation and actually improve that insulin sensitivity as well. So here's what I love to show, because I know a lot of people have faith in the medical system. And that's okay. They're on their own journey. But what I love to educate on is the difference on how you can treat your body naturally with the plants that God gave us that are designed to help our body and support our body to heal itself, versus the chemicals and stuff that have the bad reactions in the pharmaceutical drugs that we inject or take in a pill or whatever we take it in. So the difference here is the pharmaceutical approach, it's going to mimic or force the GLP-1 signaling from outside the body. It works around that root cause rather than addressing it. It does not restore your gut microbiome or the GLP-1 production. It probably actually does worse for the gut microbiome. And when discontinued, the underlying dysfunction is still there. You've still got all the issues that we've talked about tonight. But with a natural plant-based GLP-1 reset, it's going to remove that burden that suppresses your own GLP-1's output. It's going to restore that bile flow so that GLP-1 production can increase naturally. It's going to repair that gut lining where the GLP-1 is actually made. It's going to rebalance that microbiome and gut health, right? Gut-brain connection. If we restore that microbiome in the gut immune system, I mean, the microbiome is connected. There's at least 12 documented accesses beyond the gut-brain connection with that microbiome. And so all of your systems are tied to that gut microbiome. And so that's a really important key component on your health journey that needs to be taken into consideration. If you've been on heavy pharmaceuticals for a long time, if you've been eating those anything that comes in a box from a store or those pre-made freezer meals, there's a lot of chemicals in there that need to be purged from your body. Your body's not going to get rid of them. It's going to store in that brown fat. And then it supports the body in doing what it was designed to do. When you have the chemical version of this that does not address the terrain health or the root cause healing, it's also going to add more chemicals to the liver. So the liver has to process more. The bile flow is going to get stuck more. The GLP-1 signals are going to slow down. In the meantime, this drug comes in and says, no, you're going to work today. I don't care if you don't have your shoes, your coat, your purse, your laptop. You are getting in there and you are going to suppress this appetite and you are going to get to work. It just causes stress on the body. So the deep cleanse has to come first. I always say you would never paint the Mona Lisa on tree bark, right? So you cannot reset a dirty terrain, parasite load, heavy metal accumulation, compromised gut wall that directly suppress metabolic hormone productions. Trying to hormonally reset before clearing it is like renovating a flooded basement without draining it first. Okay, so the liver has to be ready. Your liver must be able to produce that bile, process those hormones, clear that metabolic waste for any reset to take hold. The deep cleanse opened those pathways first. And without this step, the GLP-1 receptors remain impaired regardless of what supplements are introduced. The gut lining must be intact. GLP-1 is produced in the gut wall. And a gut that's inflamed, damaged by parasitic activities, or populated by the wrong bacteria simply cannot produce adequate GLP-1s. And week 3, we start to address that during the deep cleanse that we're on right now. So here is our projected tentative outline of what we are going to be covering. I have a very special guest that I will be bringing on in May. She is a doctor who uses our products, and she purchased the heavy metal detox protocol. This woman detoxes probably as much as I do. She is a complete natural doctor. She's a chiropractor. And she took a bath with some of the products from our heavy metal detox, and her body scanner went red the next couple days, and she couldn't figure out why. And then she remembered that she took that heavy metal detox bath, and she was blown away because she thought she had a pretty clean system. So she was pretty excited about that. That's going to be a product line that's coming on for her clients. Excited about that. So we're going to do the deep cleanse. It starts March 22nd. One more time, get everything cleared out because we've got a lot of new people that came on board recently. And so I want them to have an experience with that deep cleanse. April, we're going to run the GLP-1 reset. April and May, and hopefully by then you will see the results of how amazing that product line is. June, we're going to go into that heavy metal detox. July, we're going to come in and we're going to talk about some hormones, and happy hormones him, happy hormones her, and just how that all plays a part in your overall terrain health. August, of course, kids and back to school. And then September and October, we come back in and we hit the detox protocols again, because you really should be doing a parasite cleanse twice a year. And that's going to get your immune system ready to go for the winter season. I know a lot of people that have done these detox protocols with me have not had the immune malfunction when it comes to winter, maybe slight cold here, slight cold there, but not constantly sick like we see a lot of the people in our network. And that's all because the gut health and the liver health. November, we're going to go back into insulin defense so that we can enjoy the holidays without fear of all those wacky weight gains that can come through that, which is going to take us back into January with our fitness goals. And we'll just keep repeating this calendar because this is the true root cause healing calendar that your body has been craving. And we can't wait to bring it to you. So this is starting March 22nd. So if you've not purchased your kit yet, Monday is the cutoff date. We won't be able to get that to you in time for us to start on the 22nd. If it gets there a day or two late, that's okay. You can just be a day or two behind. I know Greta on this last one, she was a day ahead of us all because they've got a special trip coming up. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to prepare, we're going to clear, we're going to bind, and then we're going to restore. And that starts March 22nd. So you can also earn cash by taking part in this. And here is how. Join that cleanse, get your orders in by Monday, invite a friend or two to do the cleanse with you. And when your friend places a qualifying order, you are going to get paid. Those commissions are going to go directly into your account that you can use to build up and buy more products later to keep you on this health journey. Because number one, we know money, right? Money can be a sticker shock. Money can be a hold off. But what we do here is we make sure that you know that there is a way for you to share these products and earn some money back to help offset those costs. So this says tag whoever invited you to get started, but it's not a tag. It's just reach out to whoever invited you to or shared this call with you. Don't contact me if someone else has shared this with you, because I'm going to direct you back to them too. This is for the people. This is for the company to invite guests to. And so I want to make sure that you are connected with whoever shared this with you, and whether you're seeing this live or on replay. So if you get that Deep Cleanse Kit, Colon Support is an amazing product that is going to come for free as a thank you gift from the company. I just love this. It's a full-size 1 ounce bottle of this amazing tincture. And if you travel and get a little backed up when you're traveling, this is a godsend. I take this traveling every time, and I never have those backed up bloating feelings because the colon support comes in and helps stabilize the microbiome in the colon. So it has key botanicals in it: ginger, rhubarb root, cascara, fennel seed, golden seal, and barberry. So awesome, awesome stuff. It supports healthy colon function, encourages gentle, natural regularity. This is not going to give you the screaming cheetah willies, as my husband calls it. But this is just very gentle on your digestion. And it promotes detoxification and efficient waste elimination. So that's going to come free for all brand new orders. But if you have an account with Heart and Body Naturals, we just ask that you put it on auto ship, because I should have a screen for that. Auto ship is going to give you 5% off the price. It's going to give you 5% back in reward points. It's going to give you 10 free gift cards to share with friends and family. And then you'll also get the free product. Okay. So you get all that stuff plus free product. So, and you can cancel and change that at any time. There's no locked in, you're not required to have that. But if you want all those extra benefits, that choice is totally up to you whether to accept them or not. Now, on the go to sauna side, I had to mention this new kit that just came out, and we had a vault pool. Now, this is the first time this has happened. And there are certain things that our formulator, Alexandra Brighton, has created that we do not have access to. And so this Solus body oil that has sandalwood, neroli, and bergamot in it for grounding and composure, that is from the vault. That is something that we will only have access to this month, and it only comes in this kit. But Paula wanted to make sure that you guys not understood, but you guys thought that this was a good deal. I mean, do you think that's a good deal? $154 in savings. So for $129, you're getting eight essential oils. You're getting black seed oil. You're getting frankincense inhaler, which is amazing for calming, goes directly to the brain. I have a friend whose son has seizure activity, and the frankincense has been really good in helping support his body through that and calming that. It's going to have that soap in there, the tooth powder, the body oil, and something brand new is our daily pause collection or email subscription. Sorry. And it is a daily 3-minute pause that you get just to start your day and just start it with this calm energy. One of the things that I love the most in this kit, and I've not tried the body oil yet, is the Prosperity Essential Oil. That's a part of our Seasons of Success collection that comes once a month. So I'm so glad that that is in there. I know several on the call have had some excellent experiences. Prosperity oil has the frequency and vibration of abundance. And so when you wear that oil, you attract abundance. So again, final order, if you are doing round 1 of the parasite cleanse, really the only thing you need to reorder is the para cleanse, the vitality, and the purge tonic. And then you're going to get that free colon support if you put that on auto ship. The deep cleanse kit is $218. It saves you $113. And our next calls will move into the full GLP-1 reset, building on everything we've done with this deep cleanse, but all of the information and training and education, we're going to walk you through that deep cleanse in our testimony detox groups. And so you don't feel lost. We want to make sure. Then if sharing these products is something that does interest you beyond just an occasional, hey, I'm doing a detox, do you want to do it with me? Coach Marcus is going to be going over an online income system that works even in this economy. He's going to talk about the business side of what we do. And the greatest paycheck is seeing beautiful faces like you getting healthy and changing your lives. So with that, I am going to go ahead and close this meeting out. Thank you all for coming. Again, please get back to the person that shared this with you. If you've got any more questions, they've got the protocols in a PDF form that they can send to you. And I just hope that you learned something tonight, learned something that you can share with others, and that you found value, because your time is extremely valuable, and I never ever want to take that for granted. So have a great night, and we will see you all later.